Hello, welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Monday, May the 12th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room. Well, very slow day for me today. I actually only took one trade that I posted in the room, but I'm going to go over a couple of other trades that are maybe more of a swing variety, one that I'm in already and one that you might want to consider. I briefly, I didn't talk about it on Friday, but I mentioned it in the text for the market recap. But first, let's take a look at the trade that I actually made in the room today. Now, this was BMY, and this came from my break of the 20-day high. Now, you can notice I had very few of them. Actually, I only had one other one. Actually, let's take a look at TWX right now. And this is the reason I didn't get into TWX. The break of the 20-day high was at 68.89, so it was right there. But you can see that the candle expanded so quickly, and so we're talking 68.90 or whatever to 69.25. So this is a 2-minute candle. So I really didn't have a chance to get in. And yes, obviously in retrospect, I should have taken another hard look at it on this pullback. I have traded Time Warner before, and I know it can be really, really erratic. So probably that influenced me somewhat not to take the trade on the pullback. But typically these trades are not so much done on the pullback. I take them on the break, and if they continue going up, great. If they don't, then I'm out of them. So this would have been a bit of a break from the norm for me on this type of play, but obviously in retrospect, it would have been a very nice play. But anyway, this is the one that I did take, Bristol Myers, BMY. And this green line down here is that's the 20-day high that it broke. And you can see that it was a little bit erratic at the very beginning on this first 2-minute candle, but I ended up taking the trade at 51.60. And I took half the trade off at 51.87, and I was, bound and determined to hold this the second half for quite a while. And I tried, but I did have to admit I did exit the second half at $52. So not bad. I mean, 40 cents on the first half, 27 on the second half. And this got me out here. I was just a little worried that it was going to go back through the whole number, kind of like it did over here. Obviously, if I'd waited just a little bit longer, I could have got a little more profit out of it. But this is the action that I was a little bit afraid of. And see, the market still has a little bit to go, about 45 minutes actually in the market. So you can see that it really didn't do very much after it hit that high. So that's the only trade I took today. But again, I am liking my breaks of the 20-day high. They're at least giving me maybe two or three chances. I see TMUS right here is also trying. Let me just see again. The market's open. I won't take this trade right now, but you can see that the 20-day high is 32.32, and it is very possible that it's attempted at this level a couple of times. And I guess if it broke through, it may just run for a while. So we'll see what happens. Actually, I'll keep an eye on this as I continue showing you a couple of the other things that I'm was looking at. Now, excuse me, DRL. I did not trade this, but I did mention it in the pre-market to definitely keep an eye on it. And the reason was this is that you can see on Friday it had a tremendous day. I mean, it was a low of let's see, about $1.72, and it hit a high of like over $4. So obviously a tremendous day. Had the sell-off at the end of the day, but you can see why people are taking a look at this stock. The big gap to fill. Obviously, I don't know if this was earnings or what the reason for the downfall in the stock was, but I mean, obviously it hit a bottom of around a little under $2. And today, another continuation. Now, again, it started off weak. You can see that it was selling off below where it closed on Friday, but it has definitely rallied. So I would probably take a look at this on Tuesday to see if it can continue this rally. It still has a big gap to fill. We're talking $3 on a $4 stock, so who knows what might happen. So I will pay more attention to this tomorrow. I know I mentioned it in the room, but I did lose sight of it. These are the more low price stocks that aren't exactly the normal type trade that I take. So, but tomorrow I am definitely going to be watching it like a hawk. Now, MGNX is a stock that you may remember that I have talked about a little bit. This is my, I don't swing very often, and this is a swing trade that I have kept through, quite frankly, some pain. My average is $20.39, and what I'm looking at, of course, is this big gap to fill. And there is a fund manager that did get involved, and so that has influenced me. Dan Merkin, the CEO of Trade Ideas, he brought this to my attention. So I decided that the only way you can play this sort of a trade, if you're willing to, if you're hoping that it might get this big bounce up, I'm not saying it'll get all the way back up here, but even to an area like this, you have to take fewer shares and be prepared for some wild swings. And because the spread between the bid and the ask is also pretty heavy. So what I'm looking at doing is holding into this area, and probably if it broke above this area here, like out of this congestion area right here, I would probably add to it. Now that's just, I'm not telling anybody to do this, but this is what I'm looking to do. But again, I did have to suffer through a little bit of a downturn. I mean, got all the way down to 1787. So definitely, but again, the only way I could hold this is if I took fewer shares, and that's what I did. So I wasn't too concerned about being stopped out. So that was that one. And on Friday, I didn't actually go over this in the video. I did mention it in the text. And this is club. Now, it may be, I don't know if it's too late, but you can see why I was interested in this. I actually got interested in this around this area here. Now, I'm not in this. One swing for me is probably enough, but I'm just pointing this out to you, people who might like to swing, and you can see why it would be attractive. You've got $8.50 is the gap, so it's still $2 to go on a $6 650 stock. So big percentage increase if it can happen. So we've had basically 3 days in a row now. Well, the first day was basically a small doji, but at least it was a green candle. And then on Friday had a nice pop, and today a little continuation. So I will watch this tomorrow and just to see what happens. But just excuse me, something that you might want to consider if you're at all looking to swing something. So that's it for today. Let me just bring back the cover sheet. And this is the address to get into the room. And you can log in as a guest or use your Facebook or Twitter account to log in. I hope to see you in the room, in the trading room tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, what is the date tomorrow? May the 13th.